Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Y. I'm just using your initials for privacy purposes, and I am Michael, the founder owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. You're also one of my students in the English language program here at California State University, San Bernardino. And you completed what we know is an independent writing practice test. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a score here, but I want to read through at least a couple of your paragraphs, and let's see what we have. Okay, so first of all, from a topic standpoint, as you've always done, you seem to have a pretty good organization. So you talk about the condition of a good roommate is clean and friendly. And I will tell you why these are good to roommate. Then you talk about why a roommate should have a clean character. And then you talk about how a roommate must have a friendly character. And then you kind of tie those ideas together at the end, right? So you understand how to organize ideas, but the purpose of this video is to show you some of your language use problems you're having and then how you can correct those problems. All right? So we'll start off with your first paragraph, and I will make some corrections here. So you say, many international students live with you can say here good and bad roommates. And then you don't have to say this. This is a little bit too wordy, I think. You can say something like, obviously. And what I'm doing is trying to tie these two sentences together. So you say, obviously, these students want to have good roommates. You can say they can have, we might say here, nice friends. And maybe, let's say, peaceful school lives. Let's make this a little more formal here. However, it's hard to decide to have a good conditional roommate. I'm going to say that's a little bit awkward the way you've written that. Let's say choose a compatible roommate may be difficult and just sometimes the word you're using, it's just hard to figure out what you're trying to say. And the only thing I can tell you here is you're translating, and you have to work on improving your English so you don't do that, right? So I got to get rid of pretty much a lot of what you're saying here. It's just not really making much sense at all. So you say, however, choosing a compatible roommate may be difficult. Now, I would say here, I'm going to say here, have a roommate. And now you're getting more into the personal tone, which I think is appropriate because you are answering this from a personal experience point of view. I'll need to have a roommate who has a, maybe we'll say clean and friendly disposition. So I think we have it here. So let's take a look at how many words we have. And you have a lot of development. I like what you're saying and how you're, and so on. We still probably need to develop the idea a little bit more, but let's see what we have so far. We have, nowadays many international students live with good and bad roommates. Obviously these students want to have good roommates because they want to have nice friends and peaceful school lives. However, choosing a compatible roommate may be difficult, but if I want to have a good experience at school, I will need to have a roommate who has a clean and friendly disposition. But still, if you look at it here, I think that we are only right now about 62 words, right? So how about we develop this idea? Definitely not want roommates who will steal from them or roommates who will deal who will use illicit drugs. See, that's another thing. You got to work on the vocabulary area. Remember that I think right now you're level 4. You have to imagine that after next quarter you will be writing college level university papers, and you're not going to be able to do that with the vocabulary that you're having right now. So you definitely need to work on advancing your vocabulary. So we have students who definitely not want roommates who will steal from them or roommates who will use illicit drugs. Display these negative characteristics. Then maybe say this. So then I think we have it. Let's see what we're doing with now. So I'm just taking a look at a couple of your paragraphs, trying to give you some ideas on things that you... Okay, now we're at 96, just about 100 words. Okay, so nowadays many international students live with good and bad roommates. Obviously these students want to have good roommates because they want to have nice friends and peaceful school lives. Students will definitely not want roommates who will steal from them or roommates who will use illicit drugs. Roommates who display these negative characteristics will disrupt the peace that these students seek. In my opinion, choosing a compatible roommate may be difficult, but if I want to have a good experience at school, I will need to have a roommate who has a clean and friendly disposition. Now, disposition, don't use your dictionary. Disposition is a synonym for character. If you know what character is, you know what disposition is. I wanted to restate that. See, that's the thing, though. You're talking about things as if they don't apply to you, but you're trying to make this an argument based on your personal experience. So it's actually better if you frame things from your point of view, not other people's point of view. So you say first, a good roommate, we'll make it really strong, must have a clean, you want an adjective here, not an adverb, must have a clean character. And you want to put here a comma. I don't even think you need any at all. While living with other students. I wouldn't say most, that's probably too strong. You might say some people, you want to say here, are lazy. Use the be verb here to introduce the adjective because it is a complement. Now, if you put an adverb after this word, I would definitely put have. But in this case, some people are lazy and don't want to work hard or do housework. They want other. They want their roommates to do these. I'm going to say daunting tasks. Just means something that you don't want to do. You just say this, for example. So use here, you need a more specific. So if I'm trying to give you a little bit more specific development here. So, for example, if my roommate never wants to put his dishes in the sink or doesn't want to empty the dishwasher, we'll say the kitchen will become very dirty. Then you might say, since I do not want to live in those kinds unsanitary conditions, I will have to do all of that cleaning for him. Which is unfair. Right, so what did I do here? I mean, think about what this is. I'm trying to give you a more specific example here. If my roommate does not want to clean the bathroom, it will not be very long. The toilet, the tub, and the sink begin attracting mold. And how about this? You might say, again, I will be responsible for cleaning the bathroom does not have a clean character. So you say, again, I will be responsible for cleaning the bathroom since my roommate does not have a clean character. And let's see how long we are here. So what I'm trying to do is to show you how to be more specific. We got it. So we are at least over 100 words here. All right, so let's take a look here. I think we just have it. Now you might want to say, conversely, if my roommate is clean, then you might say share Now I'm going to go ahead and kind of watch closely here. Thereby how about creating a more sanitary I'm going to put a comma to separate the two adjectives, creating more sanitary, nicer living environment or home. You may say a lot happier. There, I think we have it. So this is something that you can do. This is how you can make, I think, a little bit more developed paragraph, that second paragraph. But what I want you to see here is, in order to strengthen your writing, I think here, especially with this type of argumentative writing, I think that you need to frame your discussion from your point of view and to involve yourself in the story, and that helps make the argument stronger. And that's why when we got here, I said, if my roommate never wants to put his dishes in the sink or doesn't want to empty the dishwasher, the kitchen will become very dirty. Then you put the word I in there. So I definitely changed, I think, the tone, in many cases, to the first person point of view to make it more of an argument. Then you can bring in your personal experience to help support your ideas. Now, the other thing is, I want you to see here, is I changed a lot of your vocabulary. Your vocabulary is too simple. Remember that you're trying to prepare yourself for college level writing, so you want to use college level vocabulary words. So that's why I put this word in there, daunting. I put that, but also I put very specific words, very basic words, but words that help to explain your ideas. I gave you the word dishes, sink, dishwasher. We have kitchen. Then we talked about the bathroom. We talked about specific words, toilet, tub, the sink. We talked about mold, attracting mold. These are very basic vocabulary words, but they're words that help to describe your specific situation. I even gave you the word sanitary there, right? Okay, let me spell check it for a minute here, and I have some suggestions for you. So I guess it's okay. Is not okay. Well, okay, let's move on. Okay, let's read the first couple of paragraphs one more time, and then I'm going to give you some suggestions. You have nowadays many international students live with good and bad roommates. Obviously, these students want to have good roommates because they want to have nice friends and peaceful school lives. Students will definitely not want roommates who will steal from them or roommates who will use illicit drugs. Roommates who display these negative characteristics, need to change this. Roommates who display these negative characteristics will disrupt the peace that these students seek. In my opinion, choosing a compatible roommate may be difficult, but if I want to have a good experience at school, I will need to have a roommate who has a clean and friendly disposition. First, a good roommate must have a clean character while living with other students. Some people are lazy and don't want to work hard or do housework. They want their roommates to do these daunting tasks. For example, if my roommate never wants to put his dishes in the sink or doesn't want to empty the dishwasher, the kitchen will become very dirty. Since I do not want to live in those kinds of unsanitary conditions, I will have to do all of that cleaning for him, which is unfair. In addition, if my roommate, make this singular because of verb singular, if my roommate does not want to clean the bathroom, it will not be very long before the toilet, the tub, and the sink begin attracting mold. Again, I will be responsible for cleaning the bathroom since my roommate does not have a clean character. Now, this was not done by accident. I said clean character. I wanted to remind the audience of what my topic was, and I used that near the end of your paragraph there to make sure that you had a unifying purpose to your ideas. Then you can say here, conversely, if my roommate is clean, then we will be able to share the cleaning responsibilities, thereby creating a more sanitary, nicer living environment in our home. Finally, I will be a lot happier since I'm not the only one doing all the household chores. Okay, so I'm not going to do corrections in these paragraphs, but you get the picture. You have to work on your language use. I've told you about this in class, and I know it's not easy to do, but you need to make it a goal to really work on improving your language use. Now I'm going to tell you how to do it. You're subscribed to my website, right? So I think that I gave you access at the beginning of this quarter. So you want to go to stealth.bettertoeflscores.com, the login page there. And if you have trouble logging on, send me an email. But your first step is vocabulary. You need to work on your vocabulary because until you improve your vocabulary, it's going to be really hard to improve your writing. So my recommendation is Vocabulary Lesson 3. It's an ebook of 200 basic TOEFL words. You want to go through this lesson first. It'll probably take you about 2 or 3 weeks, but go through it. It has 20 chapters. Do the vocabulary. It's going to be very important. Now, the next thing is to go through Vocabulary Lesson 4, Vocabulary Lesson 5, and Vocabulary Lesson 6. This will probably take you, I'm guessing, more than a month. So I recommend that you download all of the vocabulary audio files. You can put them on your iPhone or you can put them on your computer, and you can start listening to these words on a day-to-day basis to get used to them. Remember, you need to make it an effort to improve your vocabulary, so that's important. So having said that, you're looking at about 2 to 3 months of very good practice. If you practice and learn these words, guess what? Your vocabulary improves to over 1,700 words. That's going to be very, very important for you. Now, the next thing, go to the third section of my online TOEFL course, and you also need to work in the grammar part of my course. I would recommend first complete the grammar and diagnostic pretest. That would kind of give you an idea of what your grammar skills are, and then start going through all these lessons. All of them. It's going to be very, very important. Now I'm going to highlight one of the lessons here near the end here. You're having a lot of problems with punctuation, so I think lesson number 27, being more concise, that's going to be good for you. Lesson 28, when to use commas, when not to use commas. You can go through that lesson to learn that. And also the semicolon, colon, dash, period, question mark, exclamation point. As you go through lesson 29, pay attention to the semicolon, the colon, and the dash. Those are the areas that you need to focus on the most. Does that make sense? Okay, now the other one. Lesson 32, writing, grammar, and research exercises. I think this is also going to help you improve your writing, so I also highly recommend this. But in short, if you can improve your vocabulary and your grammar, you will find that you won't be as limited, I think, with your expressions and your writing ability. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now, the next step is we got to figure out what your score is here. So I'm looking at the ETS rubrics. They're called the Independent Writing Rubrics Scoring Standards. I need to figure out where you are right now. I can't put you in the 3 range here because it says may display accurate but limited range of syntactic structures and vocabulary. You're not really accurate in a lot of those areas. You're not exactly able to use the right words or the right grammar to express your ideas. So I can't put you in the 3 range. Let's take a look at 2. I'm going to say here, essay reveals one or more of the following weaknesses and accumulation of errors. You're at least in the 2 area. Let me go down to the 1 and read that. You have serious and frequent errors in sentence structure and or usage, little or no detail, irrelevant specifics or questionable responsiveness to the task, serious disorganization. You're not, I'm going to put you higher. I'm going to put you at 2.0 on this one. So let's say 2.0 out of 5. And let's take a look here more specifically. I'm going to kind of narrow down your grade even more here. So in the 2 range, yeah, I'm going to put you in the low 2 here at 2.0. This puts you at 75% out of 100. That's kind of where you are right now. All right, now, in the final comments I want to give you right now, in order to continue to improve your writing, as I'm saying, you have to improve your language use. Now, in addition to going through the grammar and the vocabulary sections of my online TOEFL course, also engage in a regular routine right now. My recommendation is twofold. Make sure you're reading a newspaper every day. My recommendation is about 30 minutes every day. That's going to be very helpful. You can even keep a grammar and a writing journal. When you see vocabulary that you think you think that's good for you, you can write it down. When you see new grammar structures, you can also write those down into a grammar journal. Now, in addition to doing the reading practice every day, I think that you should also practice watching TV. You're living in the United States, right? So you have access to English TV. I recommend when you're watching TV, pay attention to news, documentary, history, and also science programs. And that's also going to give you some really good exposure to the language. And that's it. So a combination, I think, of going through the vocabulary and the grammar sections of my course and also having regular reading and listening practice on a daily basis, and not just from your ESL classes. I'm asking you to do more than that. I think you will continue to improve your writing.